Now, out-of-home advertising is exponentially growing in more cities in the Philippines. We're talking about billboards, LED screens, and other outdoor advertising platforms that sell products and services and ideas in platforms that reach eyeballs. Now, here to talk to us about the industry and the industry matters and the way forward even for out-of-home advertising is Daryl Abueva of the Out-of-Home Advertising Association of the Philippines. Good afternoon, Daryl. Welcome to the program.
Yes, good afternoon, Stanley. Thank you for having me here, and good afternoon to all your televiewers.
All right, this is a pretty interesting conversation out of home advertising. Now, the Philippines' out-of-home ad spend is now sitting, as statistics are saying, it's 11.2%. It is well over the global average of 7.4%. Now, this ratio is expected to increase for outdoor advertising because it is becoming more relevant now. How are you processing this monumental growth, if you will, in terms of potential for the industry in the country?
Yeah, we've seen exponential growth in the ad placement, especially with digital billboards like the LED screens that you see in EDSA, in C5, all over. Actually, it's all over the key cities here in the Philippines. So we're very much updated in terms of technology with regards to digital LEDs. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so that's just billboard because it is really, really billboard is first in mind when you talk about outdoor advertising. But there are a lot of other platforms. Perhaps can you give us examples of what other outdoor advertising platforms there are?
Yes, of course. We used to call it outdoor advertising way back, but we coined the out-of-home advertising was coined from the States, of course, yeah, because there are other platforms like bus ads, yeah, banners. These are all out-of-home advertising. Okay. And there's a lot of our clientele who patronize, or we call it the believers of out-of-home advertising, is really growing for after the pandemic.
Yeah. Could you put a peso figure on that, how big an industry it is right now, in terms of peso value, perhaps?
Yeah, I don't have the exact figures, Stanley.
Ballpark?
But yeah, for the total industry, for the total out-of-home advertising industry, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Now, what do you think is the edge now of out-of-home advertising against the more traditional platforms, perhaps like media promotions, TV, radio, and print?
Well, firstly, it's cost-effective. Okay. It's when you compare it to TV ad placement, it's relatively cheaper, and of course the reach is there. If you place more billboards all over the Philippines, then your exposure is also that much. Okay. In terms of effectivity.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Which brings me to my next point now. You said you have better exposure now and even targeted for specific audiences of these products. Now, targeting and accountability are perhaps new words demanded by many businesses when it comes to any promotion effort. Tell us now about moves to improve your metrics. Are there reliable data or approaches to suggest just how effective outdoor advertising is, or the fact that it is not just shooting blanks as in traditional media?
Exactly. So some of our members, especially with LED boards like what you see in Bonifacio High Street, right, and among other locations in Metro Manila, they have this gadget that they install in their LED screens, and that they can process all the people who sees the billboard, and they have this technology. I'm not really in a position to explain. Perhaps the experts of these installers of these gadgets can can explain further. But we are developing, our association, the OHA, is developing these metrics, and we will be coming out soon with these metrics so that we can be at par, or we can come up with data compared to the social media and digital eyeballs that they have come out.
And what do you think is the preferred metric? Because for traditional media, for example, you have radio, you have television, and you have ratings as a metric for advertising. But for out-of-home ads, how do you measure audience impact or eyeballs or even patronage as a result of seeing those ads everywhere?
Yes, so that's a good question, Stanley. So we want, there's this gadget that they install in all the billboards that they have, and they can come up with the gender and if it's male or female,
right,
age group, you know. But in terms of sales conversion, that's the most important thing. There's a recent study that exposure to billboards increases sales conversion, but to all the campaigns. Of course, with all the ad mix, we are not saying that it is just out-of-home advertising that creates a sales conversion to all the campaigns.
Yeah.
Of course, you have to patronize also the tri-media, the TV, the radio, and the print, and of course, social media. So every ad media complements each other.
Okay. Okay, Daryl, I would imagine now this is as much as a real estate as an advertising platform for out-of-home advertising. I mean, it can work best with a perfect location, but it does not mean putting up a board in a crowded place just does the job. I mean, it is not that random. How do you ensure now that advertisers are getting the most of their ad spend through well-placed and targeted locations?
Okay, so as you can see, Stanley, here in Metro Manila, most of our clients, you know, they really prefer EDSA because you hit everyone, all types of class, all the society, the class in the society, like A to E, you hit it in EDSA. Of course, there's C5, there's NLEX, and SLEX. That's why the proliferation of billboards and LED screens are concentrated mainly in EDSA.
Okay.
So that's
Okay, so is this the same situation in other major cities in the Philippines? I mean, are these also translating into more billboards in big cities and areas, particularly urban areas?
Yes, that's correct. So most of the installation of billboards or construction of billboards are inbound or going into the city proper.
Okay.
So that's how effective it is. But of course, it depends on the clients, on the advertisers. Let's say the feeds or the fertilizer, they don't really need
urban exposure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
exposure.
Yeah. So these would be in rural areas, I can imagine.
In rural areas, exactly. Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about synergies now. I'm wondering if there's anything that out-of-home outdoor advertising can do collaboratively with other media, like traditional media platforms and even social media.
Yes. That's what we're working on right now, Stanley. In fact, there's a recent study in the States also that if a person sees a billboard or an out-of-home advertising, it generates or it creates curiosity to that target market. And what that person does is check right away on his phone.
Yeah.
So it's really complementing. And we're very, very appreciative of that development. That's why there are more and more ad placements in the coming months, and we're hopeful that it will continue to grow.
All right. Tell us now, Daryl, about your organization. You're getting bigger, the Out-of-Home Advertising Association of the Philippines. Who will form part of this organization? Are you mostly in the ad agency, or are the real estate businesses also involved in getting into outdoor advertising? Because I see a lot of private properties also allowing billboards and even advertising notices on the property. So just how big is this organization and association really?
Yeah, our association is composed mostly of billboard operators. So we own the structures, okay, and we sell the spaces. Those are our members, and we also have associate members like the printing of tarpaulins and suppliers of LED screens and bus companies. We also have associate members that are joining us. And this year, we are opening up our membership to individual members.
Okay.
So before, we just accept companies to be our member. Now, we are opening up to individual members, and these are billboard marketers. That's what we say. For freelance sales and marketing individuals can now join our organization or our association.
Okay. Okay, so this is getting bigger. Of course, you are working with a lot, not just a lot of platforms, but even technology. Talking about technology now, how is this helping in the industry with its services?
What do you mean, the social media, you mean? The digital?
Yeah. Not just social media, perhaps, because I was, well, I understand that it used to take a lot of time to put up an ad. Now it takes just about minutes with technology.
Oh, yeah. With the development of LED screens,
yeah,
everything is Wi-Fi based. It's networking, and you don't read like before. When you upload a material in your LED screen, you have to go to the you have to install a computer beside the LED screen. Now it's all networked through the internet. So it's just one touch of or one click of your keyboard, and there you go. And there's the programmatic, of course.
Yeah. Right. Right. Also, I'm wondering if there is someone who has property and wants to put up a billboard, how lucrative is it, perhaps, if you will, if you can give maybe ballpark figures on revenues that can be generated from idle property that can be converted into billboards and other outdoor advertising platforms?
In fact, that's a good question, Stanley. In fact, there's a lot of real estate developers. Before they put up a building or they develop a property, they put up a billboard, let's say for 2 or 3 years to have passive income on this. Especially, well, you really want to go into this business, well, and if you have a property, if you have properties in EDSA or C5 or SLEX or NLEX, then you can go into this business.
All right. Lastly, finally, talking about the future now of out-of-home advertising, Daryl, do you think this will be the dominant platform for business promotions? Because we've seen some decline in traditional media advertising. Does this mean that the ad market is going to you?
Well, I'm proud to say that we are the third most numbers of applications in terms of content. We in advertising, we are the third most number of applicants of clearances, because we have this what do you call this, the Ad Standards Council. Before you can put up your ads, you need to go through this process of having cleared your ads. So we are the third most number of applications in terms of advertising. The first one, of course, is digital static, which you see in Facebook, which you see in in other platforms
right.
of social media. And we're proud of that, and that we're still in gaining grounds.
All right. On that note, we thank you so much, Mr. Daryl Ebueva, Chairman of OHAP. Thanks a lot for joining us on the Business Roadshow.
Thank you, Sandy. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Moving on, the Metro Manila Subway